Good morning, everyone. So, as you can see on the screen, India-Russia relations. So, in this particular video, I'm going to teach you about India-Russia relationship in a holistic manner. This video is going to be very important for any kind of exam, even the UPSC prelims as well as the mains, and definitely for NDA, CDS, FCAT, or any kind of defense exam. Because this topic is a topic of international relation, the India-Russia relations. So I will cover every aspect in this particular video. Firstly, I will start with the introduction, and then I will talk about the historical relations, like how India and Russia or the Soviet Union have managed its relation till 1991, and then we will move forward to the defense cooperation, followed by energy cooperation and economic cooperation and the political relations, and we will also talk about the current issues that nowadays both the countries are facing in maintaining their relationship, and at the end I will conclude my topic. So let's begin. Now, before we get into the subject, we all know that our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi visited Russia in September 2019 for 5th Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok. Yeah, we all know about the World Economic Forum, but very few of us know the Eastern Economic Forum. Actually, this is an event organized by Russia in its Far East region, the region of Vladivostok or Siberian region where a very few population are living. So Russia thinks that this region has a very huge potential for development, and even the many natural resources as well as the natural gas are expected to be found in that area. So Russia nowadays conducting Eastern Economic Forum to attract the investor from the global world. So India visited Vladivostok in 2019, and we had also an annual summit with Russia. Friends, you all know that India and Russia, they are privileged strategic partners. So every year Indian and Russian prime minister or the president have the annual summit. And we all know that currently in the month of June 2020, our defense minister Sri Rajnath Singh visited Russia to attend the military day parade in Moscow to mark the 75th anniversary of Soviet victory over the Nazi Germany in Second World War. So we all know that in 1945, when the World War was ended, so Soviet Union, the dictator Stalin, he had a great role in defeating the Nazi Germany. So that's why since then, every year, the Russia is conducting the military day parade, and not only India, various countries are also invited. Even China, USA, European countries, Germany, France, UK, everyone was invited over here. So, okay, now come to the topic from the introduction. So, we all know Indo-Russian relations are bilateral relations between India and Russia. During the Cold War, India and USSR had a strong strategic military, economic, and diplomatic relations. And second point, the Russia and India both term this relationship with as a special and privileged strategic partnership. So this kind of relationship India is having with very few countries, and Russia is one of them, and another is Japan. Now, coming to the historical relations, both the countries have extremely close relations since 1947. Despite India was a member of non-aligned movement, we all know that our Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru was the founding leader of these non-aligned countries. This is also known as the third world countries, which will not be aligned with any kind of the capitalist or the communist countries such as USA or USSR. So despite India was the leading member in non-aligned movement, India historically have a very great relationship with Russia since 1947, and even the five-year plan in Indian economy, which is also considered as the backbone of India after independence, was an inspiration from USSR. And in fact, in second five-year plan of India, 8 out of 16 heavy industries was set up with the Russian assistance. So you can see that till 1991, when India opened their market, when we followed the LPG reforms, Till then, Russia had very much assistance providing in development of India, whether it be economically or militarily. And this is very important point. The 1971 Indo-Soviet Treaty of Peace and Friendship was signed, and this agreement, which marked an important event in the history, which prevented USA and China from any sort of activities of misadventure during Indo-Pakistan War of 1971 or the Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971. So we all know that when India was in the war with Pakistan in 1971, then that time USA was aligned with Pakistan and not with China. Today the scenario is completely different. Today USA wants to align itself with India, but in 1971 USA and Pakistan had very close ties. So USA wanted to invade India, but due to this treaty of Indo-Soviet Treaty of Peace and Friendship, USSR came into the protection of India, and we had won that war of 1971, and Bangladesh, which was separated from Pakistan, came out to be an independent nation. Now we all know that in 1991 the USSR was disintegrated, and since then USA became an unilateral power in the world. Because USSR was dissolved and many countries, the new countries were formed such as Kazakhstan, Poland, Germany, etc. And in 2000, when the Vladimir Putin became the president of Russia, then the incumbent president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, visited India, and it is when the India-Russia Strategic Partnership Agreement was signed. So in 2000, basically the India and Russia Strategic Partnership Agreement was signed, and in 2010, this relationship of India and Russia began to a new level, and when the Special and Privileged Strategic Partnership Agreement was signed. Now coming, now we will talk about the cooperation in various sectors such as defense, economic, political, like this. So now we are looking at the defense cooperation. So India and Russia are not just as a buyer or seller of military weapons. Now both the countries are also aligned and investing their time in various joint venture projects such as BrahMos missile. BrahMos, we all know that it is a cruise missile which is developed by the joint venture between India and Russia. The Brah is taken from Brahmaputra river, and Mos is taken from Moskva river, which is situated in Russia. So BrahMos is a very good example of India-Russia joint venture program. And INS Vikramaditya, which is India's aircraft carrier, which is being developed by India with the assistance of Russia. And third one is Ilyushin 78 transport aircraft. India currently have very few, and we have scarcity of military weapons. So Russia is providing, and we are working on Ilyushin 78 transport aircraft. This is a heavy aircraft which carries hundreds of soldiers in any operation. An Akula class submarine. It is a nuclear powered submarine which Russia provided India, and Russia is also transferring its technology so that India now is building this submarine by itself. And the fifth and the most important, that is the AS-400 missile defense system, which is currently yet to be delivered. India and Russia had signed a deal of S-400 missile defense system in 2018, according to which India will be purchasing 5 S-400 missile defense system. This defense system is very efficient, and it can attack any missiles or weather aircraft within the range of 400 km of its circumference. And finally, the Fakur Air Base. We all know that India established its first military base outside its territory, that is in Tajikistan, which is a Central Asian country. And this air base is jointly operated by India and Russia. And India and Russia, shares the trilateral exercise that is called INDRA. IND for India and RA for Russia. So India and Russia, we also have military cooperation very much. Now coming to the nuclear and energy cooperation, then the Russia is assisting India in developing its nuclear power plant, that is Kundalkulam nuclear power plant, which is situated in Tamil Nadu. And not only this, the Russia has given permission to various oil and natural gas companies like ONGC, which are now exploring the various fields in Russia's Far East and the Arctic region. In the beginning of the topic, I said that in the Far East region of Russia, there is expected to have very good amount of natural gas and petroleum. So the Indian ONGC have given permission to explore the area and find the natural gas as well as the petroleum products. And we also have had our petroleum and natural gas minister Dharmendra Pradhan visiting Russia in October 2019. So this deal was signed between India and Russia in 2019, and our petroleum and natural gas minister Dharmendra Pradhan also visited Russia. So Russia is very important partner for India, whether in terms of political, economic, nuclear and energy cooperation, or the most importantly the defense cooperation. Now, coming to the economic cooperation between the two countries. The economic cooperation between the two countries is actually far below potential. The bilateral trade between the India and Russia is just $10 billion annually. But if you compare the trade between India and China, then it is more than $50 billion. So below potential, the India and Russia have very less bilateral trade, but both the countries are now working on various connectivity projects. Because Russia is very far from India geographically, so it is very hard to do trade, and trade is also not favorable. So both the countries are working on international north-south transit corridor. This is a corridor which will be developed by India and Russia, which will connect Mumbai, which will connect Mumbai with Moscow. It is expected to reduce the duration of traveling of ships from 40 long days to 24 days. The traders traditionally India and Russia they trade with this route. We go through the Suez Canal in Egypt, and then we go to the Mediterranean Sea, and with the crossing the Europe we went to Russia. So this is basically a very long route, but this route, the international north-south transport corridor, will not only increase the connectivity between India and Russia, but it will also connect India with Central Asian countries such as Kyrgyzstan, Turkey, and various European countries as well. And it will be a very good for Indian economy that we will have more and more markets. And apart from this, when Prime Minister of India visited to Russia, then we had an agreement about the Chennai Vladivostok connectivity project. According to this, the eastern region of India as well as Russia will be connected through the sea route, the Chennai to Vladivostok connectivity project. And apart from this, India has provided 1 billion US dollar at line of credit to Russia for its helping in exploration of oil and natural gas in Far East region. Now coming to the political cooperation between the two countries, then the Russia has always been supporter of India. Russia supports India in every political platform, whether it be the G20, United Nations or United Nations Security Council. We all know that in the issue of Jammu and Kashmir, Russia saved and vetoed the America's sanctions on India many a times. And recently, on abrogation of Article 370, Russia was one among first few nations to support India. So Russia's support to India is very heavy because Russia is the permanent member of United Nations and Security Council. And not only this, the Russia also backs India's permanent candidature in United Nations and Security Council. Today, there are only 5 permanent members in United Nations Security Council. Those are USA, UK, France, China, and Russia. But Russia wants India to be the sixth permanent member of United Nations Security Council, and the two nations are also the part of SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the G20, the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and RIC, the Russia, India, and China meeting, and even the East Asia Summit. Now, talking more about the current issues that the two countries are going through. Actually, as per the reports, the 84% of total weapon arsenal of Indian armed forces used to be imported from Russia, but now, as per CIPRI findings recently, it shrinks to just 64%. So, which is the major concern for Russia? Russia feels that it is losing India as a military partner, and Russia, due to its economic downturn and sanctions facing, feels a little threatened and moving closer towards China. So, due to Russia is being isolated on global platform from USA or UK, the Russia nowadays is moving towards China and becoming dependent on China as far as economically is concerned. So this is a major cause of concern for India, and India is thinking that we are losing Russia as a strategic partner. That's why India nowadays started cooperating with USA more. And the third is the growing relationship between India and USA is a cause of concern for Russia, and growing relationship between Russia and China is a cause of concern for India. So this is the defense relation between the two countries. So now this is all the cooperation between the two countries, and both the countries are moving forward with a little differences and resolving them. And overall, we hope that India will try to balance out its relationship with USA as well as Russia, because both the countries are very important, and Russia is the one which provide its upgraded equipments to India in lower cost, but USA does not do it. So let's see what will happen in the future. So this is all in this video. I hope you like it. If you like the video, then please press the like button and subscribe, and as well press the bell button so that you can get the notification of my video very fast. And please do subscribe and share this video to your friends so that everyone gets benefited. So take care, see you tomorrow.